For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. So I'm giving you guys a bit of a review video on a brand new tent from Outwell. So this here is the Outwell Parkdale 4PA and the 6PA. So the Parkdale kind of almost takes over from the Chatham of 2019, but going forward in 2020 season, it's in many ways it's kind of the same sort of design, shape, but actually, to be honest, better spec and a few new features that really set it apart from its sort of predecessor. Generally, the Chatham was really quite popular because it was a great price pointed tent. So some kind of Outwell didn't compromise on their quality, but really sort of kept the main features in and made it down to a much more affordable price. This is exactly the same with Parkdale, but in terms of value wise, it's actually probably even better. So you've kind of got a really nice free zone tent. So you've got sleeping, main living area, and then an enclosed sort of canopy area at the front. Now it uses a really nice kind of embossed 4000mm fabric, around about 70 denier, so again, good size fabric and also very good waterproof rating. What you've got sort of about seven main changes for this season. So you've got, they've basically changed the inner tube bladders. So they've now gone to a much stronger TPU bladder. To be perfectly honest, you may have heard different things about while having a slight issue with certain numbers of their predecessor. And they were very good, and they were very, in my opinion, probably overly cautionate and sort of just got all the stock out of the market, put it back with replacements, fixed it as good as new. And that, that kind of proves, very much to how much they care about making sure the product is right when it hits the market. And if it's make sure that if it's not perfect, it's not good enough, which, is brilliant when you want to be buying a tent and spending sort of money on a tent, to have a brand who's very much conscious of that. One thing I do like about the Parkdale is the fact that it's very quick and easy to put up. I myself have pitched this model up in about sort of 7-8 minutes, and you can see that from our own Attwoolls Outdoors pitch and packing video. Literally just peg it out, pump it up, guide it out, all nicely done. Yeah, again, you've still got things like your sort of tinted windows, so you get that level of privacy, but also the versatility of you can actually see out on the campsite, which works really nicely. But you've got more features now built into it. So you've got storm straps front and back, nice webbing storm straps, really nice and rugged, just to give that extra bit more torsion in the roof and a bit more stability as well. They've got a new pump as well for the 2020 season. Yeah, again, just making it that a little bit more quicker and efficient to pump it up. Still features are in there as such as the sort of doors at the start. So the front door obviously can be enclosed. You've got a sort of three positions. You have it sort of half open, fully open, or completely shut. But what makes this different to certainly other tents in the market is the fact it's got an inbuilt mesh door on the very front door, and that's a great thing. So you have great circulation of air inside a tent without having to worry about the bugs and stuff coming in. There's not many tents on the market, certainly at this price point, that have that feature built into it. And even when you go above it, there's not many tents that have that as well. So that works really nicely. Great big PVC windows in the front as well to great clarity. We've got also curtains in that whole front section to get the privacy you want to. Yeah, again, you don't really see that too often at this kind of price point. You've got a small little reflective trim. Actually, a new colour I think works quite well, and it's something that I think that it generally looks quite sharp, and it's very much different from kind of the grey and green, which you've seen quite a lot on the campsite. It's a different kind of sort of teak or blue, I suppose you would call it. Other things to bear in mind is things like you've got obviously a really nice big side opening door to allow ventilation into the tent, and great ventilation at the back of the tent as well. There's a huge big mesh vent at the back which you can open and close up to your own discretion, which also helps sort of to fight condensation. The opposite window also beneath the side, which we'll have a look at when we go inside in a moment, has a great big ventilation panel beneath it as well, yet again to really help sort of fight condensation. But let's have a look on the inside of the Parkdale and talk for a few more features that it has to offer. So now inside the Parkdale, you can kind of get a bit more of an indication of the size you've got in here. What I've done is left the divisional door up for the time being, just to give you a bit of an idea of what you can see. But first and foremost, obviously the canopy depth is quite good. You can have put sort of cooking unit in there, and with that sort of door rolled all the way to the one side, opens up to make it feel like an open canopy area, but you've got the option obviously to seal it as you when you want to. One thing I didn't mention on the outside as well is that front door has 2 zips. So here you can leave the mesh door completely in there and take back the zip the other way with the main panel. What does it folds it down and creates an almost like a little kind of veranda kind of feel to allow airflow in, because you've got a mesh net uniquely on that front door. You get the circulation without the bugs coming through, which say other manufacturers don't offer. Also, I was talking about obviously was the ability of enclosing the windows up in the front section. Not many tents actually have that joys, especially like when we're talking about this sort of price point. Admittedly, it's only toggle up, but still it's a nice thing to have. And then you've got sort of 2 settings. You can have it sort of halfway, or you can take it sort of fully up to top. And again, it's sort of, it's 2 toggle points up there, just to make sure you get above that sort of door section. So this, all the features I'm talking about now is the same for the Parkdale 4 as it is with the 6. With me, I'm actually got the 6 here, so it gives you a bit more idea about the sizing. The 4 is just a little bit narrower and a smidge shorter as well. The divisional door between 2 sections, as you can see, is kind of a nice blank door. It zips from sort of left to right, or right to left as we look at it now. But you've got nice big mesh panels in there, so again, for circulation of air, you know, you can't really beat it. So if we bring this door back, you know, bring that back halfway, you've got a little retaining clip located there. Alternatively, if you want sort of not the breathability, you've got your own zip panels sort of to play with it as you want to. So we'll zip that back all the way. And the other thing that's quite nice is the zip that runs along here. When you zip it back, it's a beautiful flat area all the way through. So there's no trip hazard in that tent. And if we want to roll this door back like I'm going to do now, just do a bit of an untidy job, but it means it kind of opens up the whole area and flows really nicely into one. So you've got, again, that flexibility, and because it's completely flat, you haven't got that worry. Generally, the living area is, you know, it's not as deep as other models in the market, but I think it's quite compact, and if someone doesn't want anything that's too big, I think it sort of suits itself really quite well. That side door, obviously, you can open and close as we saw from the outside, but it just gives you that, you know, that sort of airflow, all that exit to and from it as with a nice day. Beautiful crystal clear windows, as you can see on the outside, to get great vision, but the privacy with the curtains, and a low level of ventilation to help with that circulation of air and sort of fight condensation. You've also got things like the bedroom section at the back, so a much more darker tint, so it's their sort of darker night bedroom, and yet again a new update for the 2020 season is you've actually got zip dividers, which you don't see, again, so value for money, very often at this sort of price point. Also is their new feature, which is Outwell's quick and quiet bedroom. Now, the quick and quiet bedroom is located on, that's a terrible throw, on the middle door, and it gives you the flexibility. You don't have to, in the middle of the night, open up the zip or make us, you know, to get in and out. So it's actually a magnetic pipe, and I'll probably just demonstrate in the best way. So hypothetically, you don't want to wake the kids up by going to the loo in the morning. All you do is you just kind of push the bedroom panel, and then you've got magnets located down the side which just reconnect itself, so you can kind of come and go as you please, or you can leave the bedding all quite nice and hidden. If you want to, there's a secondary zip as well, so you want to use it just like a normal conventional door and not have to worry about that departing, you can do that. It's no different to a normal door, but you've got a nice big mesh panel straight in there as well, and you would just toggle it back as per. But it's quite a nice little feature. Certainly one means you can sort of hide your bedding and not have to worry about that, and then if you want to nip in quickly, just, yeah, nip in and out, and it doesn't matter kind of how many times you do it, it always will re-soon. On all of the doors, you can see you've got a nice big mesh panel here to allow air to flow through. You've also got things like little storage pockets located down the bottom here, just to declutter the main space of the tent. Inside the tent, in the inner, you've still got mesh sort of pockets down the side here to put things like keys and phones. So you want to charge your phone at the middle of the night, you can do so as well. And there's actually a little cable entry point beneath here, so it means you could have the mains cable coming in to charge your phone at the end of the night, or because it's quite dark in here, if you have a torch or something, you can happily find it through the pockets. A little bit of internal kind of points on here allow you to put a bit of string cord, and it just helps to sort of clip things on and declutter things as and when you want to as well. other main new feature for 2020 is their kind of additional clip system, which is really quite nice. It's very similar, I probably would say, to Vanga's skyhook system, with one major difference: you don't have to feed it on. It's like a little kind of closed peg, I'm gonna call it, kind of attachment. You just clip that on, and then you've got a hanging point wherever you want it to. And yet again, what you've also got it on this particular model, it's normally you have two internal ones. So you've got it on the inside of this beam, the inside of this beam, and then also one in the canopy area again. So on this particular Parkdale model, in the 4 and the 6, it's on every single beam, which is brilliant. Overall, I think this particular tent is very good value for money this year, whether it be the 4 or the 6. Personally, I feel the 6 is probably best buy just for that bit more room. And because you've got the zip dividers, you can have the flexibility of having the privacy when to one another. I will say it's a zip divider along the sides, not along the bottom. So it's, even though it's fairly there, it's not completely there. But what we'll do now is we'll grab the camera and have a little look around the tent. So now we're inside, you can kind of get a bit more of an idea for the canopy space. Like I said, with it being completely open, it offers that bit extra space, and the curtains at the front really does help to make it so like one big open area. When you sort of move yourself back, you know, it's quite a nice place to be in. It also opens up. I mean, actually, the colour of the blue is a bit better inside of here as well. So we've got the magnets stitched into there, so you can just properly pull them off, and it basically eventually reattaches. And then that's that sort of clear system, sky system at the top there. It's quite subtle, not obvious. And the other thing to mention is it goes all the way down to the sides, down the bottom. And you've also got a little cable entry point. Look here, just beneath the window there, by that little tag, so you have your mains hook up into the tent itself without having to worry about it too much. A good sort of depth in the bedroom as well. So you've got a big mesh panel we can see, and you can open and close that at the back as and when you want to. And then the toggle divider, sorry, the zip dividers goes up, and you see the darkness in the bedroom, which quite nicely as well. But overall, good looking tent, great colour, storm strap around the back, and that's that big vent at the back which you can actually zip up and zip down. And all of the gyro points have got toggle retainers as well. So you've got little Velcro tabs just trying to keep the toggle point at bay. Bless him. But I think, yeah, Outwell have done a really good sort of update for the 2020 season. They took a tent that was very popular in 2019 and just then made it even better at around about a similar price point, which I think is really good. One latter thing I've not mentioned actually yet is that there's a ground sheet supplied with the footprint for the front section, and actually it toggles up into almost like a bathtub ground sheet. So there's little toggles there, and just helps to, yet again, just, well, make it feel like a closed area. So when you want, if you have that front door seal, for example, it's all enclosed and feels as part of that tent. It's also things like level of detail. So, for example, the zip runners, actually Outwell stitch them upside down and then put a little clear piece of PVC in there. What it does, it stops, by doing it upside down, it stops and putting that PVC, stops any dirt getting into the teeth, yet again, of the zip, making it last a little bit longer. Small little things like that do make a difference. So, headline news, main differences: darker bedrooms, quick and quiet bedrooms with the magnetic part, zip dividers, you've got storm straps front and back, you've got a new sort of attachment system for hanging points and lanterns, you've got the new TPU beams, you've got the obviously we've still got the big mesh vents, side doors. So, you know, you're talking, like I said at the start, 7 main big features that have changed for the 2020 season, and I think really going to make sort of the Parkdale a really sort of standout model for the 2020 season. But this is one we have on display, so by all means come and see it. Check the links below for all the packages we've got on the go at the moment, as well as let us know what you think, whether you've got one on before or whether you're looking to update. But that's our Attwoolls review on the Outwell Parkdale, the 4PA and the 6PA as well.